Hello, welcome back, everybody. I'm very excited for this episode because we ended on a really big cliffhanger last week, and it's been great hearing all the theories about what's going to happen. Before we dive into all that, though, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves and their characters, and then we'll find out what happens. So starting with top left, we've got Alex. Tell us a little bit about Susie and yourself.
I'm Alex. I'm a digital artist. You can usually find me around here or on the Discord. I play Susie No. She is 15 and very traumatized. Heavily traumatized. She has lost her parent. She is stranded on a weird planet. She broke her arm and healed it in 2 days. Things aren't going so well for her. But at least now we have a kindergarten teacher who can at least, calm everybody down and get them to listen to the kid without discounting the kid. So yay!
Yeah. Awesome. Next we've got Zan. Tell us a little bit about TC and yourself.
Yeah, I'm Zan. I'm a professional content creator and DM for 5e World of Darkness, powered by the Apocalypse, and a whole bunch of other great little games out there. You can find me here now, or you can find me at a whopping 4 a.m. over in the Central Time Zone over on Polished Cryptage channel. And I am playing, that's on Tuesdays and Fridays, US time. And I'm playing Titan Creek, who is, I don't know. He's just hoping that everyone can get their shit together and we can all do this. He is, I think he's itching to blow something up because he doesn't have a wide variety of skills, but he's real good at making things not be there when they're not supposed to be. So we're in this building, and I'm excited to see how he's going to respond when there's a threat that is definitely not covered in strawberry jam, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Next, just a quick note, definitely give Leopold the Just on Twitter a follow. He's really cool. He GMs our Friday night game, and the stars just have not aligned for him to make it for this season yet, but we're hoping next week. But he's cool. Definitely give him a follow. And I'll still be taking care of Lyle and Quackers, the emotional support duck, for this week. Next, we've got Pat. Tell us a little bit about Owen and yourself.
Hi, I'm Pat. I'm a Tactric on Twitter and Twitch. I use he, him pronouns. I play Owen, originally a cook at one point, also he, him. What is he now? I don't know. A sort of alien translator and, like me, haver of the worst ideas, but he is very committed to his awful ideas. And so that gets us to places like alien complexes that have been mysteriously emptied, except for one creepy thing that we find all the way in the back.
Yeah, sure, that'll be fine.
Keep letting Owen choose destinations, everybody. It's for the best.
Next we've got Econorlax. Tell us a little bit about Allison and yourself.
Hello, I'm Econorlax, and I play TTRPGs with whoever of the wonderful people of Twitch will have me, like Raven here. And between games, if my executive dysfunction and anxiety allow me, I stream some chill games, usually of far more base building variety. And today I'm playing Alison. She's Bosco certified childcare specialist, very much a people person, and since this crew really needed some counseling, she's feeling pretty useful and pretty optimistic about how things are going and where things are going. Unfortunately, she has no faintest idea that she met the crew at most peaceful time this group of people have experienced since the crash, and I think you haven't seen really any monstrous creatures since she landed, and she thinks this planet is not so bad as you seem to explain to her. Yeah. She clearly needs to see Kraken to get a proper cognitive recalibration.
That's a great way to put it. All right. And then last but not least, we've got Jay. Tell us a little bit about Tamsin and yourself. Muted somewhere. One of the two is muted.
I had the double mute. Hi, I'm Jay, or Alien Jays. You can find me on Twitter or itch.io at Alien Jays. I'm a writer, role player, and a game dev. And I am very excited to see how Tamsin is going to be the only one that survives this. She is an astrophysicist way out of her depth and way out of patience for this entire planet and its alien shenanigans. And she's really just hoping they can catch some kind of break. She's currently working with the other person they found in the cryopod to see if they can't get the big cryopod section safe. Whether that actually works, we don't know, but she's happy to not be in the alien base.
That's a good point. Totally fair. All right, that just leaves me. I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for The Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various things I do, most of which are tabletop related. There's my link tree in chat. And then quick word on sponsors, Fundamental RPG, which this game runs on. You can pick up a physical copy at Amazon or digital copy at coffee.com/raven/shop. There's direct links in chat. And it's a really cool D20 system that you can run virtually any genre of game on. Very cool stuff. And then Intrepid, which is adventuring gear for real life, athletic, outdoor, and casual wear with a tabletop theme. You can find that at the same website. And then I play all the wonderful, super friendly, harmless creatures on this planet, as well as Luna Pendergast, a survivor that was not supposed to be woken up yet, but due to some shenanigans from a certain astrophysicist, was thawed. She is a theoretical engineer and test pilot and like airplane and spaceship designer. Yeah, she's been awake for all of like a day or two. So she's having a great time. Yeah, and then when we left off, who all was in the alien base again? I can't remember who all went.
I think everyone but Lyle and Tamsin.
Okay. I don't think
Is that
Luna
right?
went.
Oh, well, yeah, and Luna, but I think of the players.
Yeah.
I think
No,
only-
four of us went to the alien base.
Okay. That's right. So when we left off, when you were able to figure out kind of the layout from the main display panel that was still there, and you all went back through and found a way to get to the back room, the only spot that any kind of signature was coming from, any kind of energy signature. And when you rounded the corner, you saw a robot that had been one of the robots that you had met before, that kind, that had been mangled pretty bad, like limbs half hanging off, and didn't seem to be super functioning all that well. And then on the floor was a bunch of blood that looked like human blood, not like hydraulic fluid or something like that. What do you do?
Go ahead. Sorry.
We literally
Susie's gonna poke it with a stick.
out when the robot raised their hand. I think
Sorry, what was that last part there, Economics?
robot raised their hand. I think.
Yes, they did raise their
So
hand
we know
towards you.
So we know it's alive,
Yes.
kind of. If robots are alive.
Yeah. It is currently on. So Susie, you're gonna poke it with a stick?
Or like, kind of like poke it, like as if to get its attention, be like, "What happened to you?"
Okay. When you poke it with whatever, some sparks fly off of that side of it. And they look at you, and with a very like glitchy kind of voice, it just sort of the word I'm looking for? Like, if it were a human, it would be, like, really hoarse and whispery. But this is a robot, so it's more just, like, glitchy and sort of broken audio.
Like a wet
Kind of
speaker?
like... Yeah, kind of like when Zoom lags out and somebody goes really robot-y. It's kind of like that. And it just says, Will, static, Erd. Danger. Didn't tell them, and then like every pause is like static and glitchy noise. Didn't tell them where island is.
So Wilford
And
didn't
then-
tell them where the island is?
Or they
The
didn't
implication
tell
is that the
Wilfred.
robot didn't tell them where the island is. Susie, could I get a sight check from you?
Yeah, I was about to say, can I roll a sight check to see if this is a philosopher?
Yeah. Oof. Would you like to add any kind of D6 to that or anything?
Let me see what we have.
We got a few. There's one that's not added onto there yet because we just
Okay,
got
I
5
will
retweets.
use that one then. So you don't have to add it on.
All right, cool.
just
And then let me
pull
see if
up
I can get
the
our rolls pulled up here.
6, so that'll be
So-
20.
Not sure why
Nice.
it's not. That's weird. Sorry, one second. The rolls box is like freaking out. Now will you work? No. Okay, apologize. The box that we usually have on the overlay for rolls and roll20 is not working for some reason. So the roll is a 14 for sight total, and the D6 was a 6, so that makes it a 20. And yeah, it looks a bit familiar. You're not 100% sure, but you think this might be the philosopher. They all kind of looked the same. They didn't have a lot of distinguishing marks, but you just sort of get a sense of familiarity about it.
Susie looks back and is like, I think this is the one Boris and I met, the philosopher. And she looks to TC and be like, can you help him?
If I get close, you're gonna swing on me, pal?
They sort of look over at you very slowly and robotically, like animatronic kind of jerky motion, and then says something, but it's just static.
Well, I hope that's a yes, damn it. Yeah, I'll poke around and see if there's anything, any like, between the basic field training that I have and the technological knowledge, if there's any like quick patchworks I can do on anything.
Sure. Roll. You can do mechanical or tech engineering, whichever one you're better at.
Ooh, one of those is slightly better than the other. Oh, fuck, I didn't level up to 14. Piss. Damn it. Okay, so we'll do that later. Yeah, so that's going to be mechanical engineering 100%.
Okay.
30.
Okay. You managed to find the power supply for this robot, and you can see there are some connections that are not entirely severed, but they've been frayed. So if you could find like some electrical tape or something like that, you could probably patch that up without too much issue, or replacement parts even.
Let me think.
Which you might be able to find in the facility, or you might have something useful on you.
Yeah, CC did pack up that first aid kit, but that's not exactly electrical tape. I don't necessarily think I have how much, like, is there any shredded metal or anything around here? Or it's all gonna be that weird shit.
Is
But
TC
they're-
mentioning what he needs?
Yeah, he'll just be chattering.
Can I roll to have Susie start scouting out and seeing if she can find anything that might work?
Absolutely, that'd be another, probably just like another site roll. Also, you may not remember since it's been a week, but there were some extra cables and things like hanging off of where consoles had been pulled out. They weren't like ripped up cables; they were just still connected to the infrastructure.
And Allison can't help herself because, well, the robot spoke in English. I assume our language we're using is English, and
Yeah.
she instantly
I thought we were speaking
simply
space
can't
French
help
this whole
her.
time.
can't help herself, so she kneels by the robot and just pats its arm. How could they do this to you?
It's mostly static and glitchy noises, but you do make out a few words that it says back to you. And basically the gist of like refused information, not like them, and
We need to help them. They tried to protect us.
there's also like a broken up sentence. The only word that you're able to make out in the sentence is others.
How are those parts coming, Susie?
1 second, let me roll sight. 19.
Are you looking more around like the extra rooms right around where you are, or are you going back towards the front?
Back towards the front where like the cable and stuff was.
Okay, then yeah, 19's plenty. You are able to find several links of wire and cable that you're able to pretty easily detach from the consoles that have been removed. You don't even have to like snip them or anything like that. They just unplug.
So Susie comes back like carrying a bunch of wires and like whatever other bits of plastic things that look like they are used in the electrical works.
TC will ask for the knife, and if Susie gives it to him, he'll start like stripping some of the casing on the wires just to like kind of act like electrical tape. Because you know what TC does have? Fucking sap.
That's true. Yeah.
Don't need no sticky tape. If I have casing, and I can make my own sticky. Spider.
I mean, earwax works fine.
No.
Oh,
Earwax. Oh, it smells terrible when it burns, though.
I didn't need
does.
to know that. Anyways, since you rolled a 30, I'm not going to make you roll again. You're able to do that, and it improves the robot's functioning somewhat. It looks like it's still having some issues with its like vocal box, the speaker. So it's still not able to communicate super well, but its movements are a lot less jerky, and it looks more. If you had to describe it, you could say more stabilized.
Can you write?
It tries to move its arms, but they're pretty damaged.
Shit.
Before we left, I forget, did we, in terms of our communication, did we make more tablets or a radio or anything? Where did we land with that?
We did, yeah. We
made
made
radios.
yeah.
Okay.
We had no quartz for tablets.
Can we like hook him up to one of the, like, he'll pull out like one of the radios? Can we hook him up to this if it's just he can't transmit the signal vocally? Maybe we could filter it through one of these.
That's a good idea, Owen.
That's a good idea.
I don't know how to do that, but
Let me take a gander. What's the verdict, Raven?
That's gonna be tech engineering.
Tech engineering. I can do that.
I will try and help.
Oh, please help. Yeah.
Should I roll too? How does help work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Susie's kind of peering over the shoulder to help, but my tech engineering is only a +9, so you don't want my help.
No
I mean,
worries.
you didn't want my help either.
That's gonna be enough to bump it up to a 30. So, yeah, it's again, it does not look pretty, and you're still getting some static, but it's vastly improved over them trying to talk. And through the static and garbledness, you're able to make out a bit more. They are the philosopher. They introduce themselves now that they can talk a little bit better, and they go on to explain roughly that that Wilfred and other humans came here, and it doesn't quite come out and say it directly, but you're able to get the gist of it that Wilfred has started this like new cult where the robots are the gods, and so now the robots are working like directly with the humans, and they wanted to get to all of you, because the robots have wanted to find that island for quite some time, but had kind of given up. But now that there's humans on it, they're more interested again. And so they tried to torture the information out of the philosopher because he's the only one of them that knows where it is and how to get to it. But he wouldn't give up the information. He also mentions that he managed to damage one of the humans, the leader, which explains all the blood.
Now, would he have expressed if Wilfred was lead or not, or if it was just a okay?
Yeah,
Cool.
Wilfred was the one that got damaged, as he put it.
Oh, lovely. How fresh is the blood?
It's been there a couple of days. It's not dried. The room itself is kind of damp. But it definitely doesn't look like it's fresh.
Okay.
Were the other
Susie.
robots gone already?
Like right now?
I mean, when they was the philosopher, were you here alone? When did all of the others leave this place and take all of their shit with them?
Oh, yeah. The philosopher explains that the other robots are the ones that did this to them, and they turned on the philosopher when Wilfred and the humans came in. And the way that they describe it is not quite like turned on, because you definitely get the impression that the philosopher wasn't really with the others to begin with.
Yeah.
But they became hostile.
Huh.
Susie's moving towards trying to see if the philosopher can be moved safely at all.
Potentially. However, they are much too large and heavy for you all to just manually lift. You would need a forklift or at least some sort of dolly probably, or would need to actually fully repair them enough so that they could move.
What about a hydraulic lift?
I was gonna say, what
That could
about
work.
just like a pulley system? I
Uh,
mean,
you-
use enough pulleys, it reduces the weight.
You could certainly try.
Okay.
This is also
we
something
doing
where a
this on
welder tool
purpose?
might come in handy.
Oh
Just
yeah,
throwing
the
that out there.
welder tool. Right, we have the repair tool thing.
Okay. I fail to read the room. Are we not mentioning teleporting on purpose?
No, I was like, fuck. No, the reason Susie was going to see if we can move them was so we could teleport him, but I was like, wait, we don't actually need to move him to teleport him. Holy fuck. In which
Okay.
case, Susie offers to go and teleport the philosopher back to the island.
Can we do that?
Susie was
I
like,
asked the group.
I think it's I don't think it's an unwise idea if we send someone over to check in on Tamsin and or at least get somewhere where our radios work again to see what she has to think about it. This is not meaning any offense there, Tin Man, but it's a lot to bring somebody new in.
She's probably she's probably moved all of our stuff out. Just assumed we're looking for whose house did she like the most. She's probably moved in at this point.
They do respond to you, by the way, with the question of going to the island, and they say that they're not worthy of going back to the island. But if that is the only way, then they'll accept it.
One has the biggest fucking eye roll.
Susie's looking at the guy like, you pretty much, we read about you. We kinda know what's going on. You're probably more belonging there than we do.
It was your home, wasn't it?
The gist of what you get, and it's still broken and staticky, but the gist of what you get is it was at one point. But they, in one form or another, sort of abandoned their principles. And that's why they don't think they're worthy to go back.
Quick question. So it's the other... So all of the other robots that you were living here with for a while turned when Wilfred got here, and then they took all their shit and left. So I assume so that we couldn't find it at some point. And they did that to find the island where we're at. But can they not just like LoJack me? Like, why haven't they been able to do that?
Yeah, they explain further that the impression is that the robots and Wilfred were working together to do this, and then Wilfred just showed up, probably at their request, and they retrieved equipment and took it somewhere, presumably to help find the island. And then the philosopher says, I don't know why they didn't try to manipulate your hardware.
Maybe, why do they need the fucking island? We haven't, I mean, like, it's cool and all. Don't get me wrong. And I get that it was useful for avoiding them. But do they only want it just because they didn't have it? Because that seems needlessly petty and a waste of time.
The philosopher seems to be having a little bit more trouble talking the longer it goes. Like, you get the impression this repair may be a temporary fix. Might need that welder to really make it more permanent. But before it gets too staticky to understand, the philosopher says teleporter.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
They have no teleporting technology. For somebody who is a prisoner, that would be quite a boon to have, I guess.
An important thing that we should all be aware of is, unless I'm mistaken, Wilfred didn't have a fabricator, did he?
Yeah, he took the one that was in the tub.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
The only reason we have one is because Susie made one in her secret stash.
All right, then. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, for recap, there was the tub with the bioreactor, and there's a few other pieces of technology over there.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so maybe I'll go ask Tamsin what they think about it. Are we okay with that?
Yeah, go ahead and if you can, let Tamsin know that we're coming, and that if you can find any spare parts or materials, if you can get them ready and get them next to the repair thing, so we can kind of do some work when we get back. But while we're here, I'll
go collect more wires.
That's exactly what I was about to ask. Thank you very much. Owen, anything else that we need to be doing while we're in here?
I was just thinking I'd see if I could hit any more terminals and see if they left any other information.
All right. Let's you investigate that. Allison, if you can go off and let Tamsin know and get everything ready. How about the plan is to teleport back in half an hour, 45, something like that?
I think I will return here with answer first.
All right, I appreciate it. We'll be Susie, what room are you going to be in?
There's a ton of wires out in the front hall. I was gonna go back out there.
If you want to teleport over to Susie, and then we'll all be close enough we can reconvene. Say back here, 45. All right. And I'll look to the robot and go, sorry, we'll be taking care of you, but we did come here for a reason. I got you stable, so just hang tight a little while longer. We'll get you out.
There's some more sparks that fly off of the side of the philosophers. You can see like the repairs are kind of breaking down already, but it somehow manages to simulate a thumbs up with one of their hands.
Good on you. All right, maybe let's try 30, not half. Let's try 30 foot then 45.
Sorry, Pat in chat just said, we know you need medical attention, but we really need to loot this place to sit tight, bud. I love that. If you tried walking,
just just take a salt tablet. You'll be all right.
Oh god. All right. So
we haven't tried turning him off and turning him back on again.
Oh, you know what might work? I bet it's been a long time. He could probably use some essential oils.
God.
I know exactly what you're referencing to, and
I've got to pull my glasses down for this one. Goodness. All right. So, sorry. Who's doing what now? I lost track of what's happening.
I'm going with Owen.
Okay.
Susie is collecting stuff in the front hall.
Okay. No need for rolls from the front hall. Just whatever you want. That's like wires or cables, or you probably even find some like capacitors and things like that.
Susie's bag is full of like well-organized coiled wires and a lot of capacitors.
Okay. And then Owen, what were you doing again?
I forget where back during our first trip here, when I got pulled into a room and like robot inhalered, was that like a whole setup, like a lab or anything, or was it just like some fucking thing that got the robot pulled out of its robo pocket? You know what like was there like a facility that this was done in?
Go gadget inhaler.
Yeah.
kind of like that, yeah. It was an apparatus that it was carrying.
Okay, I was gonna say if there was a lab that I saw, I'd probably go check there for shit. But otherwise, I'm just peeking to see if there's any terminals that weren't taken that we could get shit off of.
I mean, there was other equipment in the room, but the thing that it put over your face, it was holding. So if you want to look in there, that's totally fine. Just do a sight roll. TC can do so as well if you'd like. It's a 19 sight roll for Owen. And a 14 for TC. You have a hard time finding the room that you were in. You do eventually find it, but it takes you longer than you had anticipated. Yeah, we'll call that a collective 20. So you do find some equipment, but you have no idea what it does. But probably something to do with the little nano things that are in your head.
Are there any terminals that seem to have, maybe user manuals or something that I could download and take back to me for future reading?
You could try tech engineering to see if you can access it.
I will stand near a computer and just kind of like shuffle my feet and like nod at TC to get him to come over.
Yeah, I'll come on over.
I'll over the shoulder help with it.
This
Okay.
just has the energy of like a kid playing a video game and holding the controller out and going like, I can't beat this level.
I probably could, but there's only like one life left, so let's just be safe about it.
It kind of feels like when you're at like a self-serve machine and you're looking at the attendant like, can you
Yeah, okay. I'll go over. What's the role you need from me?
Tech engineering.
Tech engineering. Alrighty. Not as good as mechanical, but solid.
It's okay.
No.
I was literally
No.
about
Wow.
to say it doesn't matter because
No.
Owen's already forgotten about you blowing up the thing last session.
Uh-huh.
Should
That's
I
a
still
nat
roll to
one.
help?
No, it won't matter. And that's a 6 on the nat 1.
Oh no.
Delicious.
I assume I'm already not there, so no
Yeah,
nurse help
it's-
this time.
It's just TC and Owen. I'm trying to think of what route I want to go with this.
You both
Zan,
die. Susie is
Mhm.
alone.
a character consent question here. How would you feel if TC also got nanobots? You can say no.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Okay, then I think that's what's gonna happen is just some hidden panel in the wall opens up and like shoves a face mask in your face.
Ah, Jesus fuck.
What fucking button did you press?
And all of a sudden, pretty green glowing lights and weird heads-up display stuff show up.
Oh. So you see this little sparkly shit in the corner of your eye, huh?
Yep, that was. Yep, that was pretty much. Well, you're up to speed on what happened here.
Yep. Okay.
For the record, I didn't think that button would do that when I called you over to press it. Just to be clear, was really just kind of looking for like an instruction manual.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, I've got a lot to think about right now, so we're gonna put a pin in this, and we're gonna come back to it later.
So, bright side, you now know this does have something to do with the nanobots. Could I get a gut feeling roll from both of you? Just to see if you maybe have the inclination to do a certain thing. It's a 23 for TC and a 7 for Owen. TC, you have the idea, the feeling that, if there's like an activator thing, so it activates the nanobots, it would stand to reason that there might be a way to deactivate them here as well. Owen is head empty, no thoughts.
So, this seems to be some kind of control room, since it can dispense them. Maybe there's a way around here it can cut them off.
That sounds painful. Like with knives?
No, I assume it's just going to be a small localized EMP. Hopefully these haven't fully integrated with our internal organs and we'll live through the shock.
That sounds like a thing we could do. Or not, if we're not feeling whatever.
Let's look around for a different terminal. Similar size, similar shape, but it's going to have a different layout, I think.
There is a terminal exactly opposite of that one. So if that one was to the left, there's another one to the right type of deal.
If I actually look at the second terminal, do I see like a big off display in alien language that I didn't read before?
Hibernate. Oh, fuck me. It's hibernate, not off. That's the problem. I was looking for an off spin.
Yeah, roll either side or tech engineering.
Oh, that'll be sight.
Okay. 31. It probably is something like what Zan said. Like, there's a lot of different words that pop up for different symbols. And yeah, it is something like hibernate, or like disconnect, or kind of cycles through a bunch of synonyms for turn off. But they're like very loose synonyms.
I'm not seeing stuff like decommission like come up or anything like that, right?
Kill's probably one that pops up.
Greg. I love that. Love that for us. Before I hit said button, is there any kind of like target or like destination for the program I'm about to hit, if that makes sense?
No, but there is like a space between the two terminals. That's where TC was standing when the thing popped out of the wall. So probably whoever's standing there is who it'll affect.
Okay, so if I was to tell you that this terminal appears to be an off switch for those things, would you want to be the one to try that first, hypothetically?
Sure.
Okay. You just stand right there.
All right.
There's something. This seems dangerous. You go first. Do you do that then?
Yeah. Owen, wow, that's an awful noise. I hate this building's elevator. Owen, if this goes ass up, then tell them the truth because the information's valuable, but try to make it sound a little cooler than this,
Yeah, I'll think on that one. I'll come up with something.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So, not to play the GM cliche, but so you push the button?
I mean, as long as kill isn't increasing in its frequency of appearance here. Like,
it's not.
Okay, then sure. Let's give this a try.
Okay. As soon as you push it, there's a panel in the ceiling that opens up. And it honestly actually kind of looks like a big colander with wires on it that just pops down on TC's head. There's a bit of a flash of light. TC, you feel tingly all over, like you're in a room full of static electricity. It's not painful, but it probably feels a little off. like definitely feels funky. And then about 30 seconds later, there's a weird metallic taste in your mouth, and you suddenly have what feels like you just put a handful of gravel in your mouth, like that texture.
Hmm.
You can spit it out if you want,
Oh,
or
I'll take
do
some of
whatever you want with
the
it.
like some of the material that I have, and I'll spit it into there and just kind of look at it, still wiggling or moving or anything.
Yeah, nothing's moving. It kind of looks like actually, it's probably the more along the lines of the texture that was. It looks like big coffee grounds that are just look like
Oh,
that same material.
did I just vomit quinoa?
It's black. It looks kind of like the material that the walls are made out of. But it's basically like the consistency of coarse ground coffee.
You have that looks like the walls. Does it taste like the walls? Because you tasted the walls, right?
I mean, the
that's
walls had a
right.
live current.
It probably does taste a little similar. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It is a similar material. Don't tell Susie that. She doesn't need any more encouragement to go licking walls. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a development. So I'm gonna figure out what the repercussions are of these little things from our new friend when they're able to talk.
I mean, I don't think Luna's accent is that complicated.
No, not that the robot. God damn it. Another new friend, you know. We're so chummy with everybody these days. We're gonna. Yeah, I'm okay with not having this in me at the moment.
Yeah. Should I hold on to mine for a while?
It's entirely up to you.
I mean, we know how to get back here to take it out now. I'm trying to remember how useful. I mean, so if we didn't have at least somebody with it, we can't read any of the alien shit that we find.
Yeah.
Why don't we? I think it makes sense to hold on to it for now, at least. It's not.
I think I agree. But we should make our way back to the Tin Man and make sure he's doing all right.
Yes. Yeah. Sure. Let's. Are we doing that thing where we both like wait for the next person to start walking and then we both start walking at the same time and then stop again?
Yeah. Don't worry.
After
I'll go.
you.
I'll go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll go first.
Oh my goodness. All right. So that happens. What was Allison doing this whole time? I can't remember what you said Allison was doing.
Well, I simply started with pressing the button to teleport back to the portal, to the cave.
Okay. Yeah, then you're able to do that. As I recall, Lyle and Quackers are still sitting there watching the portal, and they wave to you. I mean, Lyle does. Quackers just sort of quacks at you.
I needed to teleport back in range of radius to consult with everybody about some important matter. So you can hear me as I am here, but I wonder if I can catch Luna and Tamsin on radio. I'm pressing the button or whatever, and
Yeah.
hello, Tamsin. Luna,
range.
can you hear me?
All right, so we can hear that coming through.
Yeah.
Okay.
The radios are well within range.
Okay. Yeah, so Tamsin kind of like taps her ear while she's in the middle of probably like looking at schematics or something with Luna. Allison, is that you?
Yeah, I came back on island to ask you about very important thing. TC said we need to everybody needs to vote on this because we found one of the robots. I mean, no, not one of the robots. I would say he's pretty important one. They are pretty important one. The one Susie referred to as philosopher. They were the leader of this faction here that built the island, and they are in pretty rough shape. The other robots I don't know, tortured them for information where this island is, and they didn't talk at all, so it's like to protect us, I think. So we kind of owe them, right?
Tamsin stands up from where she's sitting and like kind of starts pacing along the room, like, so let me just make sure I have the facts right. You went to the alien base, you found a broken robot who claims to be with the philosopher, you said something like that, and that Wilfred and his people attacked it, but it didn't tell them anything.
Well, Susie confirms that is the robot they were talking with when they were in this alien base first with Boris. And Owen read about them in those alien books, right? About the history of the faction that lived on this island.
Right. So what do you need my vote on?
Can we bring them here, both for our and their safety? Because if we owe them, and also maybe those robots would try to get this information again. This island is pretty important to them because of the teleporter. That's what I understood.
Can you ask it if it has any way of being tracked? I don't want to bring it here and then have them.
I even haven't thought about this. I mean, we still owe them, but it would make kind of things very complicated.
If it can't be tracked, then I think that's fine. I'm hesitant about it, but I agree it would be better to have them close. But if they can be tracked, I don't know what we should do.
And Lyle, Luna, what do you think about it? Oh, Luna, I realize you really have no. Actually, I don't even have any. I have no idea what we are doing here. Actually,
yeah, basically.
That's the best way to describe it.
Did Luna get a radio?
Yeah, we made enough, I think, for everybody.
Okay.
Because we made 8 total, I believe. I think that's right.
Okay. Then, yeah, I think there's a bit of a pause, and then first of all, there's an actual sentient robot. I want to go see it. Second of all, it's quite possible that they don't know if they're being tracked or not, so bringing them here might not be the best idea.
But if they have the information where the island is and robots, everybody here is a robot, and they can try again. So either way, it's dangerous.
Have you seen any sign of the other robots? Because if they left that one alive, who's to say they're not still there?
Or they could be coming back.
I don't know.
I don't know
I
that we
mean-
have a choice. I don't think we can leave it there, even if it is
Oh,
being
and-
tracked.
Owen said he can see the robots on his,
With his special eyes,
nanobot.
right?
Yeah, and this was the only sign of life. I mean,
Right. The only
Activity.
thing that's
so the base looks actually kind of emptied because like they removed all of equipment. Not maybe not all, much of equipment. Oh, all right. That's kind of that's important, right? They took the equipment to this other guy, Wilfred, and they are working together now. There are like places where the consoles were installed, which are gone now. So I don't know. They seems like they moved a lot of equipment from this prison to this island, the other island, not this island.
okay. And Tam's gonna look at Luna and just do like a little nod, like I think bring it here. Even if it is being tracked, I don't want any of you to get ambushed while you're in there. Safety in numbers and all that.
Luna responds as well. He goes, right, probably best not to lollygag around if they're coming back.
Okay.
Bring it here and we can do our best to make sure there's nothing, shouting out where we're located.
Quick meta question. Has Bosco developed any kind of AI or sentient robot?
There's probably like limited AI, but not
Okay.
like truly
Not like a true.
sentient.
Okay.
Probably kind of like the AI that we have now, but
Like
more
neural networks?
useful.
Yeah. Okay.
Sassy HR computers reminding you not to be late.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
And
probably
Lyle-
more like algorithm based, so it's just like really good at giving you the correct response that's already
Right.
programmed into it, rather than
Remember, a happy employee is an employed employee.
Yeah. And Lai, what do you think about it?
oh,
Yes. That's Bosco.
yeah, that's terrible. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought.
I'm
What
so
were we
sorry.
doing?
Alison wants for everybody to have a chance to say their piece about this.
Okay.
Everybody needs to. Because everybody is important.
Lyle and Quacker seem pretty chill. Lyle's just becoming like the surfer stoner character. They're just go with the flow.
They're both just chilling on a little piece of board on the beach.
Yeah,
Yeah, Quacker's
too
brought back
much,
something, and they're just super relaxed all of a sudden.
they are in contact with Bosco certified comfort duck for too long. You can overdose, Quackers.
God. So yeah,
Okay.
Lyle's like, whatever's cool, I'll go with the group. Luna's vote was, yeah, probably best to hurry up and bring them here, and then we'll go from there.
Okay,
Tamsin
so
sounds
now
like it's the same.
actually, I didn't think about the scary part that comes now. Alison has to teleport on her own.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear.
You'd always ask one of us to come with.
You weren't there.
No, but if you hold that's meta. But if you hold hands with someone, you can teleport with them. That's how they got Luna out. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she needs to be the pilot for this.
Oh,
teleport.
I guess. Yeah.
You weren't in the prison.
Right.
Neither Lyle nor Luna.
Yeah, it's true. So it is a discipline roll to teleport.
Oh dear. Whew. 15.
15. You get most of the way there. You end up you suddenly find yourself in the water just below where that moon pool is. It's a bit of a cold shock, but you're not surprised to where, like you suddenly inhale, you recognize you're in water and can hold your breath, and you're within swimming distance, but it's still quite scary.
Yeah, I imagine. Okay, so I see the light, so I swim towards the light, but not all the way sounded like I'm in the middle of ocean, not in the moon pool. That sounded way scary at first.
Yeah. You're able to make it up into the moon pool and you're able to surface and breathe. Before you get there, though, if Allison looks down, you might notice what looks like part of the seafloor moving a little bit. Whatever it is very big, and it's definitely enough to like give you that sinking feeling in your gut. But
So the question is, did I look down?
I can relax. Remember how to give it a bad tummy ache.
Yeah. You probably would have seen it even if you weren't looking directly down. It's big enough that you would have seen it out of your peripheral. So it's scary, but you're able to get out of the moon pool. You're not in any real danger.
I was already scared. You don't need to like multiply the effect.
Sorry. But yeah, Allison has seen the Kraken Viper that was attacking the other people way back before.
No, that was just a bottom moving. So that's still not that. No details. So that's not full effect. Okay, so she Alison like climbs on the edge of the, I don't know how to call it, garage for subs. I would say.
Okay. Susie, you hear a sudden splash coming down the hallway, probably with some panting and coughing.
Susie has her knife stick out and is looking ready to stab somebody.
You will definitely hear, oh my god, oh dear, before you see me.
Oh
so.
yeah, no, she calms down as soon as she starts hearing the, oh my god, oh dear. It's like, hey Allison, how'd it go back on the island?
I didn't oh dear. I teleported into the water.
Yeah, it does that sometimes.
I was I thought for a moment I'm already dead because I'm in the middle of ocean. But it wasn't that far from the moon pool.
Well, that's good, because there's something real nasty outside of this place.
I thought I've seen something, but I'm not even sure. I mean...
Did it look like the bottom of the floor is moving?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. We gave it really bad stomach cramps and made it puke us up in the
What do you mean? What do you mean by stomach cramps? Like,
we electrified the hull because it swallowed us.
what do you mean it swallowed you? What's there on the bottom?
A really, really big fish.
But it was like entire bottom of
Mm-hmm.
the. Oh my god! I would never volunteer to teleport alone. If I knew that. Oh my god. Yeah.
Probably a good idea.
She presses the button. TC Owen. I'm back. Tamzin asked a very good question. Can the other robot teleport track the philosopher?
I mean, maybe.
You need to ask them, him.
Well, I mean, if they know. I mean, I asked why they couldn't track me, and they didn't have a great answer for that.
Oh.
Susie, maybe because our brains are different. I mean, that would make sense, right? I mean, it's like viruses. When affecting one species, it'll affect a different species. It quite often affects a different species in different ways. It's those different symptoms. Maybe they don't know how to interact with human brains, like to a point of controlling them.
I mean, not so much control, but like they've. At least when I first got this, there was like some direct communication. And then for some reason, after talking to me for a little bit, they stopped, and I haven't heard anything back from them. I assume that's entirely a problem on their end of things.
Susie's like, she's like, lucky aliens.
Damn.
Does Susie want to go check out a panel and go press a button?
Nope.
Oh goodness, that's gonna be a bad conversation later. I'll do a look over and see if they put anything on the philosopher, but I don't know anything about its programming or anything. But if Bosco did put something on there to Wilfred did put something on there to keep a track on it, I'm sure I can send him on a fun little chase. Can I look it over and see if it's been if it's like original stuff has been tampered with in any way?
Trying to look over the philosopher's program.
Yeah, the physical form of the philosopher, not so much the program. See if any kind of bugs or anything have been left.
Okay, so you're looking for a part that doesn't look like it's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, mechanical engineering for that.
Sure thing. Boom. Wow, boom. 22. Man, with a plus 19, a 22. Ugh.
Yeah, you don't really notice anything that looks out of place. There's some parts that look a little bit odd, but they're also damaged. So it's hard to tell if it's something new that's not supposed to be there, or just something that got kind of beat up. Also, we hit 10 retweets, so I got a D6, so that was fun. Something really cool happens at 20 retweets. And interactions, really. You can also leave a comment, and that'll count as one. So yeah, you don't notice anything that's not supposed to be there, but this is also very foreign, so you're probably not feeling 100% certain, but you're somewhat sure that everything's fine.
I'm as sure as I can be right now. We'll give it another look over when we got the right tools, but I'm confident. Confident enough to make an assumption. And the subtext of that is I'm confident enough to gamble your life. Just didn't want to out and out say that.
All right. So
yeah. So if we're good, then we'll just let them know that we're teleporting out.
Okay. So I'm assuming you're all gonna huddle up around the philosopher and then just hit the back button.
Alison will first ask the question, though, personally. Do you think, to the philosopher, of course, do you think the robots can track you?
The audio thing isn't really working anymore. It's mostly just static and glitchy sounds, but they do manage to essentially shake their head no. It's pretty clear what the head gesture is meant to communicate.
Okay, that's good. I'm so happy we can help you.
Okay. Who's pushing the back button?
I just assume you mean specifically for the philosopher?
Yeah, specifically to teleport everybody back.
Oh, I just assumed we all had to press our own.
Oh, if you're all-
Owen was going to make his separate try.
Okay. Well, I guess then in that case, who's touching the philosopher and pushing the back button? I'll put it that way. Susie?
I'm traveling with Susie. No
Okay.
pressing buttons from me, at least today.
Susie, when you push the button, it's not the same like error code that you got before when you couldn't teleport. It's essentially like the equivalent of blinking yellow, and there's a symbol that sort of projects out of the button that you can't read. Assuming Owen hasn't teleported yet, Owen could probably read it. That's up to you, Pat.
Oh god, should we roll for it? Just roll like for
Sure.
luck. Okay.
Make a gut feeling roll, maybe.
Sure. Let's make it worse than a coin flip. Let's go with gut feeling.
I'm gonna use that advantage.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
That was a nat 1. So, Owen, you have advantage thanks to Michael gifting a subscription to Zan.
Thank you so much, Michael. Coming through the clutch.
Wait for it.
We're gonna advance the plot somehow.
Okay. We did it last
right.
week. I was waiting to see if it happened again.
Yep. That was so... I've very rarely ever seen 2 nat 1s in a row, and to have it on an advantage was just... what a kick in the gut. Alright, so... Oh, and you have a gut feeling of like, hey, maybe I should hang out a second. And when you see the symbol, it's basically the equivalent of fancy robot detected, are you sure?
Is this a more, because I also got an "Are you sure?" warning before we teleported here. Does this appear to be a sterner warning than that warning, or is this warning more like which one was worse?
This is less worse. It's sort of a like, hey, we're normally not supposed to let these things, teleport. Are you sure this is what you want to teleport over here?
That's probably fine. That's like when a website tells you you're like leaving the website to go to a different website. Are you sure?
Yeah. It's like this is questionable behavior. Are you sure?
Yeah, it's like, are you sure you want to download this file? It's one of those.
Yeah.
The certificate for this robot has expired long ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically like, yeah, there's some danger that we've associated with this this thing that you're trying to teleporter. Are you sure you want to do this? So that's what it says.
Are you sure? I think you just have to tell your button that you're sure, if you're sure.
Oh, right. Sorry. My
worries.
computer froze up, so I was paying attention more and trying to get it to unfreeze itself. Yes. Susie's sure. She pushes her.
Okay. Cool.
Just downloaded so many viruses.
She's 15.
All right, then
What do you expect?
So you press the button again, and yeah, you all teleport to the cave. You're all fine. Nothing bad happens or anything like that. And I think that's probably a good spot to take a quick break. When we come back, you can figure out how to fix the philosopher, decide what this means, and we'll go from there. So for everybody watching, go stretch your legs, grab a glass of water, hydrate yourself, grab snacks, whatever you need to do, take care of yourself. But then be back in 15 minutes because that's when we'll be back, and we'll find out what happens with this robot. Be right back. right, we are back. Sorry, that took a little extra time, but we're back, and you've got the philosopher in the cave with the teleporter. What now?
It's all up to Quackers.
Quackers puts on a little hard hat and grabs a little wrench with his wing.
Susie is trying to like spread out the mats and stuff as basically to give as clear a working space as she can in and around the philosopher.
Okay.
For as well as like laying out all the various things that she managed to find, like wires and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll start prepping. I'll ask Allison to help probably, but I'm gonna start trying to get a little OR station prepped. About to, I'll put on a baseball cap and get like my little magnifying glasses and my little magnetic screwdriver, and we'll just go to town.
Question: has anyone let Luna or Tamsin know that you're back?
Oh, definitely. We definitely would have, yeah.
Just making sure.
No P.
Okay. I'm sorry, did you say you grabbed a magnetic screwdriver?
No, I was making a goof.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was saying, yeah,
Because we have no screwdriver.
Yeah, we have no screwdriver. We have no magnifying glasses. I don't have a little forehead light. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to build this computer.
Yeah, sorry. No, my brain just heard magnetic screwdriver and thought, why the hell are you using a magnetic screwdriver on electronics? And then went, wait, where did you get the screwdriver?
Priorities,
That's the order that the
clearly.
questions were. Oh, anyways, yeah, you're able to clear off the spot just fine and get everything ready. And Luna is, of course, rushing down because she's very excited and fascinated. Her need for self-preservation has been temporarily put on hold. She's just fascinated by this robot and is sort of poking around and whatnot. So that's what Luna's doing. What about Tamsin and Allison and Owen?
I think Tamsin, while they're looking at it, I think Tamsin's trying to rig something up to be able to talk with it, because she obviously tries to talk to it at first and realizes that it can't speak or communicate with us verbally. So she's going to try and rig something up so that it can get at least rudimentary conversation, because if you have a patient that you have no idea what it needs, you're going to fuck something up. It's not exactly like we can just let it rest and it'll recuperate, as far as we know.
Owen is kind of leaning just up against a wall watching, and so I think if you're getting to work on that, yeah, we like, I don't know if like we hooked up an aux cable or something. We got it working on the walkie-talkie or the radio for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think this thing probably has some more internal injuries than that. If that's, computers have insides. That's still an appropriate term, right?
I mean, yeah. I think if anything, Tamsin's probably going to do like a like hold up one digit for yes, two digits for no kind of thing, just to get a basic. What is the thing that we need to fix first? Let's not worry about the throat if your heart is dying, kind of thing.
Alison actually asks Owen, do your special eyes can see any, I don't know, diagnostics? Like in those sci-fi movies when a robot is broken, their internal display is like showing the circuit board and stuff, like, but can you do that for other robot? I mean not that I'm suggesting that you're a robot, but you have kind of robot eyes. That
was a lot. I squint in the philosopher's general direction.
That's a raid cry right there. As you squint, your special eyes recognize the philosopher as one of the robots, but it doesn't give you a diagnostic or anything like that.
Yep, that's definitely a robot right there.
Identifying wood. Yep, that's wood.
And then Tamsin, to answer your suggestion, it's no longer able to move its hands, but they give you a like a burst of static.
Okay, cool.
And then 2 quick bursts of static. So like 1 for yes, 2 for no.
Okay.
Not to be insensitive, but I mean, was this their original body anyway? Can't we like just download it into something else?
And we just manufacture a robot body from scratch? Yeah, we got a machining shop and like
at some point, I don't know, like put it in a fucking toaster for now, but that way it doesn't die, and we'll put him in a good body when we've got a good body.
We don't even have toasters, man.
Alison interjects. Oh man, don't be like that.
Like what?
It's insensitive.
I mean, if the robots are more about preserving their consciousness than anything else, then store the consciousness where it can't get hurt until we can get it an appropriate
Except
body.
the philosopher wasn't.
Every sapient
He
being
was forced into
has
this.
its
Remember
dignity.
the book?
I thought the philosopher said that they compromised their morals or whatever. So I don't know how
I'm
much. to
pretty
believe
sure
in
after
that.
it was forced into this sort of like endless life thing.
Tamsin is pointedly ignoring the discussion going around because she's trying to do her best to make sure this thing's body isn't failing. So, if anything, what would you like me to do with that?
You could do mechanical engineering if you're looking to like make sure no parts are failing.
Just
Luna's
to
doing the
stabilize
same
it,
thing,
essentially.
so
Yeah,
if you want to do that with advantage, that's
cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wilfred is over. Not Wilfred. Shit. TC is over there doing a.
The jig is up!
Wilfred is doing. And TC is doing a similar thing. He's making a note that we're going to have to talk about when the right time to have an argument is, and when it's not. But now is not the right time to bring that discussion up.
Owen's not even trying to argue. He's offering solutions. Everyone just argues with him.
I'm sure. I'm 100% sure Owen is always the victim. You're right.
Yeah.
I love it here.
I'm
Owen's
so-
always the victim.
You know, I think it's the nanobots because I'm finally feeling seen.
God.
oh my god.
What
So
did
that was-
Tamsin do to
That was
deserve
a
this?
17 and then a 25.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see the patch job that TC did for the power supply. The power sort of melted through that casing, and the wires have sort of come off again. And that seems to be a problem. Also, the power supply is not a particular type of power cell that you've seen before, but it is like modular. It's in there like a car battery, so to speak.
I was literally about to mention the earwax.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Question for the group: did we ever make the battery charger? Yeah, take that. Silence is a no. So we should probably do that at some point because none of our batteries are charged. Fuck's sake. Timson looks up while they're all discussing and is like, I need someone to go down to the beach and take one of the cells out of the sub so that we can maybe just get a backup for this for them.
Susie bolts out the door.
Owen teleports to the beach.
I was just gonna say Timson yells after Susie, you could just teleport.
Free time.
Oh my god. We're so bad at this.
Okay. Also, to clarify, the power supply seems fine. It's just that it's not connected very well because of the frayed wires.
Tamsin doesn't want to leave anything to chance.
That's totally fine. Just making sure that was clear.
Okay.
Also, you got Susie and Owen out of the room, so that's
Also
an
that.
improvement.
Also that. Just for like 5 minutes apiece. So, why don't you go play hide and seek with yourself in the other room? So
Oh God.
Things
So
at
I've
each other
actually
until
been
one
told
of
as a
you
child.
stare at each other until one of you loses the quiet game.
basically, yeah. You could also, go play a game of hide and go F yourself. So that's something I was told as a child. So what would it take for Tamsin? Could I just like fabricate some new wires to kind of splice together with this?
Yeah. Also, Susie has a bunch of cables and things laid out on
Okay.
the floor.
Oh, sorry, right. I forgot that's what Susie was doing with the. I heard mats and I was like, do we have tarps? Like, what's?
Quality area cables.
Yeah. You will need some way to like splice those in and attach them, like
Right.
perhaps a welder tool.
The mats were all the grass mats that she had made in
Ah,
there.
right. Okay. Hopefully they're
Also-
anti-static.
Side note, Owen, you teleport right to the sub, so you're able to pull the power cell out in like no time, and I
Yeah.
presume you press the back button.
Yeah.
Okay, Susie, when you get to the sub, there's no power cell in it.
Oh boy. Oh, this is going to be an argument, isn't it?
Susie teleports back, goes
Here we
over to
go.
Owen and punches him in the arm. Not hard enough to like actually do damage, but like hard enough to rock him.
Wait, how did you get back so fast? You couldn't have run back that
She
quickly.
punches him again. Harder.
God's teeth. Oh.
Oh my god. Ah.
So yes, Tamsin would go and get the welder to start splicing these things together, and she'd have Luna
Do,
give
do
her a
you
hand with
have
that.
one?
Exactly.
made
That
one.
was.
I thought.
I know there was one at one point, but I wasn't sure if it was on the
Oh no,
sub
sorry,
or
I'm
not.
thinking the repair tool. That's my bad.
Oh, same thing.
Oh, okay. I believe we did make one.
Okay.
That was. Let me just double check because I think we.
I thought that was on like the big sub when it went down. But
No, I seem to
if one of
remember
you
us
had it on
making
you,
one
that's totally fine.
recently.
Okay.
Let me just double check what it takes to make one because I think we might have been short something. Welder. Oh yes, no, we didn't find sulfur.
Oh, that
Yeah,
discussion
that's-
I remember.
Yes, so that's what it was. So
Now I remember that.
yeah. So Tamsin's casting around like, what the fuck is the welder? Oh. Can one of you see if you can find some sulfur somewhere around? I thought we had a welder made, but we don't, and we kind of need it.
There might be sulfur back over by the tub.
Take two. If Wilford is on the warpath, we need to make sure that no one else gets hurt.
It did mention that Wilford was injured.
Hey, Owen,
Mm-hmm.
can you make your like fancy robot bits like scan for like specific like chemicals and stuff?
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, Tamsin's nodding along like, well, fuck, I wish we thought of that sooner.
Yeah, that'd be real cool if that was something I knew how to do.
Oh,
I think
can you
I think
try
about
it?
the concept of sulfur really hard.
You know that there is somehow you know that there is some in the shallow region.
Like where we already knew it was, or like shallow around this island.
So back by the fridge, you just
Okay.
instinctively know that there is some there because reasons.
There's some near the fridge.
But like more specific.
Okay, how about Allison and me and Owen go to the fridge and try and find sulfur, and we can see if we can't use Owen as like
Okay,
metal
that's a good
detector.
idea, but
Sulfur metal?
I mean, It
Do
would
you
be.
want me to call you a fart detector? Because that's honestly what you'll be.
We need to know if you can actually do it, Owen. So try thinking about something that's on the island that we know is on the island.
If I already know that it's on the island, wouldn't me just thinking about that be the information I already have, and then we wouldn't be able to confirm it? Wouldn't I have to know? Wouldn't proving this mean that I have to now figure out the position of something we didn't already know was there?
Or
Okay, so if the question-
we can just put you on one of the paddle boards, push you around until it feels like hot close. I mean, did you not play the hot cold game?
Yeah, sure, let's do
The
that.
question is, can you see something? So can your nanobots scan the surroundings and put it on your display, kind of?
I think this would be an excellent thing for everyone to test out in the field. I'm very sorry, but this is really delicate work, and I feel like this conversation doesn't necessarily need to happen here.
Also, you could just we've looked for sulfur before. You could just go down and look for it with your eyes.
Okay.
I agree, it's something we should look into, but this is not the time to deliberate and discuss.
You're absolutely correct.
Luna is currently looking at all of you, and if she had popcorn, she'd be eating it. And after a while just says, "How long have you all been surviving on here again?"
Tamsin does the grandma shush to her. Just whips around like...
Luna just talking, muttering to herself, "It's a fucking miracle."
Susie just looks like, I don't know, you'd have to ask Tamsin or Lyle.
Over 2 months. If you don't feel like going, I can go, but this is urgent.
No. You're absolutely correct. Those who can help philosopher, know their electronics and stuff, can remain, and all the rest we should go look for sulfur and other useful things on the shallows, like ports.
Okay,
So,
I'm ready
Susie,
to go.
Owen. Okay.
Remember to stay out of the eelgrass. Check your legs often. Bobbit worms.
Oh, I didn't
Just
know the
the
grass had a
bobbit
name.
leeches.
I just want... my plan will be to stay out of the water entirely, because you promised me a board I can hang out on. So I'll let you know where y'all can dive under the water and look for things.
Alright.
Oh my god.
That's
Alright,
fine.
I'm gonna fast forward this along a little bit. So who all's going looking for sulfur? So Owen, Allison, and Susie.
Yep.
Okay. So normally it would have taken you about an hour to search just with your own eyes for sulfur and find it. But instead it takes 2 hours because you're arguing back and forth with Owen, who's trying to find it with his special eyes. But you find like 4 units of sulfur.
Do we also find some quartz?
Sulfur powder, and yeah, you can have a couple of quartz as a treat.
Thank you.
How
As a
much-
treat, because we've been such good little Dibbins today.
Okay.
How many is couple?
2.
No, sorry, I was blowing my nose.
Okay.
Also, wow, hello everyone that just showed up. I looked up, but there was 12 viewers, and then I looked up just now, and there's 21 viewers.
Whoa.
I was like, did I read that backwards?
Welcome
Hi,
to
welcome
Family
in.
Feud.
Yeah. When did
that-
people
Not
show
sure where
up?
you all came from all of a sudden, but welcome in. We're
Whoa.
having fun.
Owen would have absolutely insisted that my eyes only work when everyone is very quiet and doesn't talk back to me.
Susie calls bullshit on that immediately.
That's
See,
why
this is
they're
why
not
it
working.
takes 2 hours.
That's why it's not working, Susie.
Yeah, Allison decides that letting them argue some steam off doesn't really influence our chances to find sulfur. So
Okay. Just because this is meant to be a horrible survival game and I'm evil, I need a sight roll from everybody that's in the water.
yeah,
All right, so we've got a 25. Oh wait, sorry. Nope. Nat 20 for
Yeah.
Owen. A 43. A 10 for Allison and a 20 for Susie.
It's those damn special eyes.
Yeah. Owen, yeah, you spot right away a couple of those alien lampreys, and you're able to avoid them no problem. You also see them going towards Allison, who does not see them. And Susie, you also notice one of them coming towards you.
I will absolutely point those out, but there's not a significant break in the back and forth.
I'd like to stab it, please.
Okay. Go ahead and do a melee attack, Susie. So Allison, yeah.
And I'm also throwing in my spear fishing profession.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fishing spear.
Actually, that wouldn't really work on an attack, but in this case, basically just don't roll a 1, because they're not going to be hard to hit.
19.
So 19, yeah, you hit it. You have speared an alien lamprey on your knife. And then Allison, in the midst of bickering back and forth, Owen stops and says, "There's 2 lampreys coming towards you," and then goes right back to bickering with Susie. What's your reaction?
I press the button.
Perfect response. Okay, so Allison, you show back up in the cave. We're gonna pause that for a sec. Owen and Susie, now there's one lamprey coming towards each of you, because Allison's not there anymore.
I attack again!
Go for it.
Still arguing! Still arguing!
Oh my god. Go ahead and give it another roll for the melee attack.
+4, so 9.
9. You don't quite spear it cleanly like you did the first one, but you do kind of cut it in half and it just floats in the water dead. What about you, Owen?
It's... I pull out the stun rifle I take out with me at all times. How long does this thing work for again? As I try and zap one of the lampreys.
It puts it in stasis for like 15, maybe 30 seconds.
Oh, it's only seconds. I was asking Susie, but it's only seconds.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's only seconds, but here, hit it and I'll chop it up. We can have them for dinner.
I don't know if you want... I forget if I've cooked these or not. Let's just take them with. We need to juice them anyway. We're almost
And besides,
done with
they make
the
great
juice.
bait. They make great bait for the traps.
Oh my god.
Things here love eating these things.
Zap.
Remember to milk your lampreys 1 to 2 times a day.
Yeah.
God,
Well, that's why
She's
Owen was considering trying to take it alive if it stays sun long enough, so we had a constant source of the numbing agent. We just toss them in the fountain in town, and occasionally bleed in the pool.
Barry, what are you eating?
Okay.
Barry, what are you eating?
You managed to stasis it, and then if you want to bring it back alive or cut it up, I'll let you decide. But we're gonna go back to the cave.
Yeah, while we're working, if there's a second like in the lull, TC's just gonna clear his throat and go, Jameson, something happened while we were in there. Some of those nanobots got in me. I was able to get them out, but it's a thing that I'm planning on letting everybody know. Owen was there with me when it happened. It's something that I gotta let everybody else know, just in case I didn't get all of them. But if nothing, we've got at least now we know, and we can look at what's inside of Owen and inside of Wilfred. I don't know if it's a thing that we feel comfortable keeping around here, but the opportunity is here if we need it. Yeah, Patrick, I could have, and I chose to not. I chose to make that 75% more suspicious of you when I said it. But, I was like, do I want to crank it to 100% suspicion? No. Let's keep it moderate. Let's give him the room for doubt.
Tamsin's kind of like distractedly nodding while she's trying to patch this thing up until the kids get back with these supplies. Mm-hmm. But she does give you a quick glance up that says more than she does. It very much is, I trust you, but there's a giant asterisk on it. Mm-hmm. And very much is that kind of like working at something like, and then she goes back to it, but she doesn't say anything.
All right, and then that's it. And TC needed to say it, said it. It's done. And then, continue trying to do play operation on this here robot.
We're getting there with the whole communication thing. We're getting there.
Luna, who's still there, and also is looking at the robot and making some calculations and things, just looks between TC and Tamsin for a second and goes, "Do you two want to be alone or something?"
Tamsin shoots her a look like she just caught her playing in mud with her brand new clothes or something. Like she just gives her this look of like, can you, like, who the fuck are you? Like, just back the hell off. Been on this goddamn plane for 2 whole months, and she's been here for like 2 days, and now Tamsin just starts muttering into the philosopher while she's trying to fix it.
TC is trying real hard not to snicker. Oh, he's trying so hard. Just the occasional like.
Robot cut your throat, TC?
Yep.
Tamsin will get on the radio to Owen. Like, how's it coming? Did you guys find anything?
Right at about that moment. Oh yeah, that's true. I think that is out of radio range. Now that you mention.
Oh
it
yeah, shit, it is, isn't it?
But right as you do that, Allison just shows up.
I pat my legs intensively for a moment.
You're fine. There's none on you.
Tamsin definitely gives you a look of like double check, pull the pant legs up, make sure. And she actually comes over and gives Allison a quick look over.
I think I'm all right.
Twice with those fucking things.
I think I'm all right. Okay, I'm going back.
Okay, just keep a close eye out. They'll always get you when you're not looking.
Okay. I hit to roll again, I guess.
Yeah, you're fine. There's none on you. Are you going back to Owen and Susie?
Yes.
Okay.
I just it was like a tactical move.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Temporary retreat.
I dig it. That's great. Yeah, go ahead and roll discipline. Yeah, you get right back to exactly the spot you want to be in.
I don't want to be exactly in the spot where I was because that's where the leeches are. Let's just say where I think about Owen.
Okay. Yeah, you're on the board with Owen. And the lampreys are taken care of.
Whew, that was close.
Susie has like the 4 lampreys draped over the board with Owen, like with all the other stuff piled up there too.
Perfect.
And Susie's just like, Guess we got dinner for tonight. If we can eat this. If not, I'm sure TC has a use for it.
These are the
Susie,
these are
like, takes it-
edible?
Susie's like, well, I don't know. I can't remember if they're edible or not. But it's real neat. So you know about the mucus and stuff. But the reason I've been calling them bobbit leeches is Susie like reaches over with her like hand in the wetsuit and stuff and like pinches the head so the mandibles pop out. She's like, it looks like a bobbit worm from Earth.
There are things on Earth that look like that?
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about it.
I mean, they're about the same size too. At least the bigger ones.
You just see huge eyes.
I mean, you've heard of sperm whale, right?
Right?
That's about the size of a reaper. That's sort of the size of one of those kraken vipers. It's about the same size.
But whales are like...
Mostly carnivorous. Absolutely terrifying to the things that they eat.
I don't know, I just seen some movies with them, like documentary stuff, like, and you're probably right, but I don't know that I like cuter, I guess.
Oh, you haven't seen the babies of the ones in the kelp forest. They're real cute. They're so tiny.
But they are leeches. Whales are cute.
No, not the leeches. I'm talking about the like sweetie pie. Oh, and do you think we have enough time to go and see if Sweetie Pie's here?
Oh, definitely not.
It'll just take me like 2 seconds.
No,
Like Tamsin's like elbows deep in this poor robot's guts, and they're like, "Where the fuck are they?"
Nope.
Yeah,
we've got. I mean, if going to see Cutie Pie is more important than a sentient
Sweetie
creature's
Pie.
life,
Cutie Pie
sure.
is a weird name.
Yep. Okay, I'll just let them know that
No,
you needed
no,
to visit your pet,
Susie-
and so the
Owen's
philosopher
right.
had to die.
Owen's right. Ooh.
I hate it, but he's right. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Owen's such a little shit. I love it.
Owen, can you go fall down some stairs?
I sure
Susie.
can. I can't. I'm not going to. Maybe.
Can you two just be nicer to each other? Like,
Why?
What do you mean? Owen's totally unfazed.
Meanwhile, the philosopher's voice box kicks back in for just long enough for them to go, I would like to have seen the island one more time as they die. Not really.
Oh
but
my god!
that's what's
Oh
in
my
my
god!
head.
You get back and we've just made like a scrap pile where its body was, and we're like, "Where the hell were you?"
I am picturing Allison just like grabbing them and teleporting them back at this point.
oh,
Good news, everyone. We have materials. Bad news. We have.
We can rebuild them. We might have the technology.
Yeah, I don't know if this hard drive is bricked or not, but
Do we have to? I mean, were we really that attached to him to begin with?
no, okay. I will think about the answer to your question, Susie. Why you should be nicer to each other? Because I don't know. It's somehow easier to explain to 4-year-olds.
Is this something? Not to interrupt. Is this something you could think about in the cave?
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Let's go
Oh
with
my
that
God,
stuff.
this group. Okay, you all go back. You got the material. You can make the welder.
Already subtracted it from our stores. So,
Fantastic.
so what would you like me to do?
Mechanical engineering
All
to fix
right.
the parts.
Can I give
goodness.
advantage?
Yeah, absolutely. You can
Cool.
you can assist if you want to roll mechanical engineering as well. Yeah, Luna's going to be helping as well, and I don't have stats for her, so I'm just going to say yeah, she gives you advantage. instead
Okay,
of
cool.
helping. Fantastic.
Did that roll twice? I didn't actually see it.
It did. So
cool.
Zan got a 29 to help. Your first roll was 19, the second was 23. So I'm going to say that between the three of you, that's like a 30. And it's probably going to take you the rest of the evening. But with a lot of time and effort, and probably draining that battery on the welder, you are able to patch the philosopher back together.
Can I make
permanent patches?
2 tablets out of those 2 quartz?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You're
I may as well.
You're also
Uh,
able to get those tablets made.
Is it just quartz?
Yes, because you've subtracted for free.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
We are.
Yeah,
we
it's,
have one. We need just 1 quartz more for the third tablet for Luna.
Right. Right.
Actually, I'm sorry. It's 1 computer chip and 1 glass, so you would need 2 quartz. But I'm gonna retcon that and say you got 4 quartz.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
So yeah, it all evens out to the same, but the materials are a little bit different.
Okay. I'll take that off the list.
Okay. Okay, cool. So it is late evening. You've fixed up the philosopher. What would you like to do now?
All right, everybody. I know we weren't all together the entire time today. So there's been an update to the situation that you all need to be informed of. Found a panel in the room that Owen and I were exploring, and there's a button on the panel that will deploy nanobots in you. Unfortunately, I learned this firsthand. The good news, though, is that on the opposite side of the same room, there is a similar button that pulled them back out. And after a few minutes of mildly uncomfortable tingling, I started to spit this, and I hold the little pouch of grit started to spit this up. So
Lucy looks over at it. Hey, that looks like the walls. Does it
Yeah.
taste like the walls?
it does taste like the walls, yes.
I knew the walls were important.
I don't know if that's the moral to glean from this story, but I'm sure. Yeah, I just wanted to keep everyone abreast of the situation. If there's any questions that you have, I'm happy to help out. I'm happy to answer them as much as I can, but I'm not entirely sure of the process or the means myself. So, yeah, that is where we find ourselves.
TC, when this is all sorted, maybe not tomorrow, but the next day, would you mind showing me where that is?
I'm more than happy to.
Good.
This is in the same location that it's nearby where it seems Wilfred took some damage. So it might not be secure, but there was no one else in it while we were there yesterday. Just you need to be aware of that going in.
Yeah. Is the philosopher active? Are they in stasis? What are they doing?
Yeah, they're active.
Yeah. Okay. That's mostly where Tamsin's attention is focused right now.
So we can ask them some questions.
Mm-hmm. They are active. They're just being kind of quiet, kind of listening.
Digital popcorn.
Yeah. And
They are
the robots,
not onto our shit yet.
yeah, the robots do have like, sort of mechanical faces. That's like part mechanical mechanisms and part like screens, so they are able to express different things, like facial expressions.
Mhm.
It just looks.
Would you
kind
say they're able to emote?
Yes.
My display's not working, so I can't see the wonderful face of appreciation that everyone is making right now. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you all are just silently applauding.
Silent, that's the word I'd use. Love it.
But yeah, it looks. The philosopher looks somber.
Okay. I mean, yeah, Tamsin's gonna ask if it has any questions for them before they start asking it questions.
They just sort of shake their head and look down, and they seem to be like sad or sorrowful.
Mm-hmm.
And they just say that they should have died a long time ago, but they will remain here to help you with any questions that you have.
I understand that you've lived a long time, but realistically, most of us should have died a while ago as well. So I empathize, at least on some level. You were attacked. Is that right? And she kind of looks at the rest of the group for confirmation.
Looks like very just sort of shameful and says, "Yes, I was kidnapped off the island before we found ways to, or I guess they found ways to hide it." And he sort of motions towards where the village is.
Mm-hmm.
We had been working on a way to make it mobile when I was captured, and I guess they finished it. But I was captured and given a choice to either join the others or die. And at the time, I was afraid to die, so I chose to join them as far as taking on this form, and he sort of motions to the form that they're in. But I refused to help them, and so I've been ostracized among the others and unable to join my people this whole time.
And Tamsin's going to gesture to the rest of the group, like if anyone has any other questions. She doesn't want to dominate it.
Lucy speak. I think some of your people are still here. Or at least what became of them.
Their descendants.
They showed me to where some food was.
Owen,
Yes.
can you? I'm real sorry, friend. But I've got a little bit of a paranoia streak that's kept me going for a while. Wilfred knew that you had spoken with the philosopher before, right, Susie? This was something you'd shared.
Muted.
Alex.
Yeah, and I came out. Well, I don't think he knew the name. We didn't tell him the name. We just told him we met with another one.
Owen, if you could,
found out.
Yeah, I'm sorry, friend. We need to now that you're stable and not about to flatline on us. We need to be sure that you are who you say you are. Owen, since you can still read the books, can you just pick some details, some facts out and make sure that his answers line up with what the book says. It's not the best system, I know, but I would just like to make sure that this it isn't just a puppet, if you'll excuse me saying there, friend.
They just sort of nod and express that they understand. Also, Susie, they seem happy to hear the news that some of their descendants are still on the island, but doesn't really comment on it. They just seem happy about that.
The books, were those like written around the philosopher's time and would actually have personal information? Or were those more like, this is Johnny Appleseed, and almost like was the philosopher more of a tall tale type thing at that time that they were written?
No, actual historical figure in the books. Not a lot of personal details, but there would be enough that you could verify.
Yeah, there's not a page with like favorite movie, food, that kind of thing.
What would the security questions
color?
be?
What was the street you grew up on? Mother's maiden name.
Yeah, I was about to say, what is your
That
mother's maiden
first
name?
pet.
Yeah, not stuff like that, but enough that you can ask some questions that you think only the philosopher would know, or at least the people who lived on the island. And they do get the answers correct.
No. I was gonna say, I ask him why their stares are so deadly.
It's a defense mechanism.
No,
Oh, you don't? Because I had a great answer for that.
then yes. Yes, I said it happened.
They sort of tilt their head in confusion and go, perhaps our species is more agile than yours.
I guess they've got to step up on you, eh? I'm so sorry.
That was great.
Wonderful. It was delicious. I wish I could spread that on toast and have it sliced.
I just give Tamsin this like, really, Grandma look.
Tamsin gives you a really grandma look.
Luna's just there going, I can see why the bridge has become a very important part of your culture now.
Oh shit! Yeah, the bridge.
Yeah,
what's the deal with that? What's the deal with that bridge?
Yeah, they go in and Tamsin at the same time, like, whoa, yeah, what the?
Oh, exactly.
Tell me about the structure drug.
The philosopher just looks at you and goes, there is a bridge connecting the two plateaus. It's also where one of the power lines runs. Aside from that, I don't know what you mean.
We get higher with their power.
So,
Ion power.
so could you say that we're power tripping?
I'm assuming you like explain to the philosopher the effect it's having on. Yeah, they just reply, I'm uncertain that it never affected us that way. Perhaps it is something about your physiology that it is affected that way.
That sounds like user error.
Does that sound like one of the things about our physiology that's probably causing like irreparable damage or something? Are we essentially just living underneath the power lines? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like slowly degrading cell walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The euphoria you sense is slow cell death.
The philosopher can't really tell you one way or the other, but meta knowledge. Yeah, it's just it has a calming effect on human physiology, but not on the aliens.
I got concerns.
I've been waiting so long to tell you all that.
I had no idea. I could not have guessed that. And I'm so happy. And I mean, I'm happy. Tamsin is worried as fuck. She's like, oh, I have to wean myself off the bridge.
It's just like a happy side effect of the power conduit is that it makes you calm and feel great.
Jeez.
Sending out those good vibes, literally.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, what is? I just came up with so many ideas, but I don't know that Owen has the science brain to make them happen.
I mean, you can always question Tamsin.
Well, because like high school physics, like currents create magnetic fields and stuff around them, right? Is there some way to like channel this sort of power into like a portable happy generator?
You probably could with magnets.
What if we could take the bridge with us, Tamsin?
Tamsin's like already doing a bit of math. Like if you had a large enough magnet.
Susie has like a light bulb look on her face. We could use it against Wilfred and the others.
You want to weaponize calmness?
Yeah.
Like happy race?
Yeah.
Normally, I would
Tamsin,
tell you that you're mad.
You don't even yell at me when you're on the bridge.
Oh, God. Would a stronger current increase the effect and make people like just entirely docile?
I would worry about the effects of a stronger current, because as it is, it's already placating us, even from our most horrible communication skills. If we pump up the voltage too much, you could potentially fry people. You could literally calm them to death.
Philosopher's
can
staring at you the entire
Wilfred
time
for
you're
to
discussing
death.
this.
We can look into it, but I want to assure you that it's caution more than excitement. That's a terrifying concept.
The philosopher just looks at you all and goes, "Your species is very violent."
Tamsin just shoots him like a side glance of like, you don't even know the half of it.
Susie looks over and is like, yeah, we're humans.
They don't know what that means.
You are the only humans my people have ever had contact with.
Not in for a fun time.
Oh, I mean, Susie, I know our history of our species can provide with many examples of how we were violent in the past, but I think now, in our modern era, we strive to do better, right?
No,
I look
not
at
really.
Tamsin.
Tamsin nods, but she says, we've also been, by and large, stuck on this planet in hostile conditions, and with Wilfred and the other assorted things that have happened, our survival instincts are very basic and violent, yes.
We believe in our right to defend ourselves.
We try to be better than those instincts, but when put up against a wall, we tend to be very aggressive.
We haven't changed very much.
Oops, I was muted.
Yeah, we haven't really. No, we're still pretty savage. If you just take away a few comforts and a few meals, we're probably about as bad as you think we are most of the time.
The philosopher nods and says, "You sound much like the others. Hopefully you do not pursue a same path."
I'd like to believe we are better than that, TC. Even without the comforts of modern technologies, we still can do triumph over our basest nature, and be gentle and kind. And that's the good answer to your earlier question. To Susie, why you two should be kind to each other, just to prove we can be something better than our ancestors, like that we are a civilized species. To our friend here. Oh, that's the answer. Also, if you are kind to each other, you will find it easier to help each other. And there might come a time when you will need to help each other.
Yeah, what if we were ever just stuck in a dangerous situation and our first instinct was to run away instead of help each other?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm I'm kidding, by the way. You did fine.
I've just teleported here and teleported back.
I know you did. This is.
I can't. If I would, I assure you, if I would be able to teleport only
Owen,
5
you're really
meters,
making it
I would
easy
do
to be
it.
nice to you.
I am trying to provide an example that at least on my side, these are affectionate, maybe too strong of a word, but not to hurt. It's dealing with, it's coping with the shitty situation we're in for humor.
The philosopher just looks at you, Owen, and they don't really blink, the robots, but you get the impression that it's like the equivalent of staring at you, blinking a couple of times, and then looking back to Allison. And then they go, well, with this one, perhaps there is hope for your species yet.
Raven, who did philosopher mean? Because I actually believe sarcasm is quite a great invention.
The philosopher is looking at Allison.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
The implication
I was
is
always
that
wondering, too.
Allison is the hope for the species.
I was wondering, I was like, wow, ooh, that's maybe don't bet on that horse. No offense, Owen, but I don't think any of us are good examples of humanity.
It's fine. Owen doesn't respect the philosopher's opinion anyway.
I think Luna's found one of those jelly fruits and is just like peeling off pieces of that and eating it while just taking in this entire situation.
Tamsin offers the philosopher a hand, because I assume they're all kind of like sitting or crouching, and offers to show them the village and just, maybe lead them to the descendants of their people while all this is going on, because questions are great, but I think they need like something concrete to show that we're not like Wilfred and his people.
In the interest of time, I'm going to summarize what the
Sure.
philosopher says to Tamsin. But the extent is that they would be considered an abomination to their people now. And while they appreciate you all fixing them up and bringing them here, they don't feel like they deserve to explore the island. But they say if there are any of their people that want to talk to them and ask questions, then they would be happy to speak with them.
We may need you to translate, I think. And she looks at Susie like, I don't know that we understand them.
Oh, I see. Yes, I
They
can...
were just gesturing at me.
It's possible they don't
we've heard
have...
sounds at night and stuff. But the only time I ever saw them was in the storm.
When was it you were taken? Do you know how many rotations?
They kind of shake their head and say, I'm uncertain how many rotations of the planet it's been, but they list off a number of days. That's sort of their ballpark, and it's the equivalent of like a couple of 1,000 years.
It's possible that even if you could hear them, that their language has diverted so far that it's an entirely new strain. It would be like English to Latin for us.
There are a lot of like enthusiastic tongue wiggling in your original language, because that's about what we've seen them do so far.
They pause for a moment and go, "Oh yes, I miss my tongue."
We've had a lot of really good quotes today.
Right?
Wow.
Yes, I miss my tongue.
Xenoanatomy is always a never-ending source of inspiration.
Yeah. They just sort of nod and say, "Oh, yes, our language was very much based in just as much body language as it was verbal words."
Susie, if you record them, we could maybe bring those back.
Yeah. Also, here, quick. Teach me how to say hello.
Is
And
that
she looks, like,
possible
pointedly.
without a tongue?
Yeah, the philosopher goes, "Oh, well, some of the meaning is lost without a tongue, but
Okay, wait one
I will
second.
approximate.
No. She goes and grabs a long piece of grass that she put off to the side because it was just a little bit too long, a little bit too curly. And she's just like, I can make do. What shape is it supposed to go in?
Oh my god. Yeah, they approximate it.
And
It's
she like holds it between her teeth like it's an extra tongue to be like, okay.
it takes some time, but there's a couple of comments like and make sure it's you twist it at this angle. Don't make this gesture because that means something disparaging about their ancestry. Stuff like that.
And Susie is like taking notes too. Like she's like got like her own file and stuff that she started on her tablet for this.
Perfect.
And she's like taking pictures of herself and like the different flicks and twists and the shapes and stuff. Like she's starting to make our own alien to English dictionary.
And Alison interjects to the philosopher. Actually, our species, I think, is kind of big on make do with what we have. So your current body is simply a solution to the problem of mortality. We also replace our lost limbs with electronics. If we knew the way to transfer the consciousness, probably we would use that to help us too. So in our eyes, you are not an abomination, I can assure you.
The gist of what they respond with is basically like, I appreciate the sentiment, but that just makes me more concerned about you than it does make me feel better. But I appreciate the thought.
This fucking
It's a wholly different culture.
Yeah.
Janet, there was something I was going to ask. Oh, before you were taken, did you happen to know anything about how the movement of this island is controlled? We've done some exploring, but we haven't found any kind of mechanism.
Yeah, they just explained that the original idea was for the island to sort of just move with the ocean and therefore be a little bit less predictable.
Okay.
Because wherever the wind blow or the currents blow it, that's just where it's going to go.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it was designed to be self-contained, so everything that you need is here,
Right.
so that it doesn't really matter where it floats off to.
Right. A little oasis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's about all they would know about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, they spend some time teaching Susie some phrases and things like that in the language as they knew it. Yeah, that should allow you to at least say hello. You muted there, Alex.
So in that case, later on, Susie's gonna ask Allison to come with her because Allison seems to be the other one who's good at communicating. It's like, okay, we're gonna go and try and find some.
Oh, I can relax. It's amazing.
Like, she's looking at Allison's like, you ready? We're gonna go find some.
Okay.
Aliens.
I'm... Okay.
Alright. So, since they're at the teleporter, Susie uses it to teleport to where she last saw it. At those gardening beds.
Okay. Yeah.
Was she touching me?
Yep. She like
Because...
just like grabbed Allison, just like, we're going!
Okay. We're going is warning enough. Okay.
Since you're still just on the island, I'm not going to make you roll. You just teleport right over there, and it's night, so it's pretty dark.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some star and moonlight enough that you can make out where those grow beds are and where the house is. Sort of like a farmhouse behind it. You can just barely make out the trail that goes into the jungle. There's a lot of jungle type noises. Some insects, crickets and things like that. Some things that sound like birds.
Do I hear anything that sounds like the larger animal sounds that we've been hearing?
I start recording just to be sure. If the sound appears on the recording, we'll simply scroll to that next. I record everything. In other
Also,
words.
Susie's looking for a bit of an area where she's very visible.
Okay. Sorry, I've got like for anybody watching, I have cat hair on my nose and it's driving me crazy and I cannot find it.
Oh god, the worst is
So if you're wondering why
inside your nose. Oh.
Yeah. If you're wondering why I keep like messing with my nose, I'm not like picking it or anything. I have a cat hair on my nose. It's driving me nuts. Anyways, yeah, you do hear some of those like somewhat like earth monkey like sounds.
Okay.
It's a bit distant though.
She's kind of like a little bit nervous, and she's got the thing. She's like, and not like yelling super loud, but like yelling to like the local area. Hey, hello. And then she starts doing the hello greeting over and over. Like she'll pause a few, like about 10-20 seconds, and then restart it.
Okay.
I'm looking around for us not to get surprised by somebody exiting the jungle from other direction.
All right, then I need a sight or hearing check from both of you, whichever one you'd prefer.
I did hearing check, 27.
Okay.
19.
19 for
Sight.
sight. Okay. I'm gonna start with Susie then. You do see just a glimpse of something that actually looks a lot like a monkey, sort of hopping from one tree to the next off in the distance at the jungle line. Clearly different than the people that you've encountered. It's obviously really hard to tell what it looks like because it is dark. And it's at a distance. But yeah, it roughly monkey in shape, and with like a purple, like a dark purple fur. In the evening, it looks almost black, but you can just barely make out that it's not really black. It's just because it's dark and it's a dark color. That's about all you're able to see. It has a tail as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then Allison, while you're looking around and listening out, you hear like the scraping of stone on stone behind you. Almost sounds like one of the doors to one of the houses opening.
I pull Susie's sleeve and point her at the direction.
Okay.
Susie pauses, turns like she's keeping herself nice and calm, and she does the greeting to the door.
Yeah. There's one of the I don't know why I can't remember. It was Rylands, right? Was the name again? Thank you.
Yes.
So one of the Rylands, they poke their head out, and so you just see two big, wide eyes staring at you like, what the hell? They see the greeting and look a little bit confused, and they make the same gestures back at you, roughly, but they're just a little bit different.
Susie corrects her gesture.
Okay. They make a lot more gestures at you after that.
I'm recording. Perfect.
Complete with some audible cues, but it's a lot more like tongue gestures and hand gestures and things like that.
She holds her hands up like this,
Recording.
like trying to get them to slow down a little bit or stop for a second, and see if that works.
They stop and give you a confused look, like complete with head tilt.
She's trying to think of the gestures that she's learned so far and like things not to say and whatnot. Is there any way for her to say to convey understand a little?
You can try an education check to see if you
Thank you.
maybe have gleaned enough information to figure out some words. It's not likely, but you maybe.
27.
Yeah, you don't really say anything in their language, but they do kind of get your intent by the fact that
I basically
just
said gibberish.
Yeah.
But it was obviously like thought out gibberish as opposed to I'm just copying what they're saying. I took the time to try and convey something.
There's this like chittering noise that comes it's like a from the throat type noise that comes from them. And I think you could probably figure out that it's laughter.
Susie finds herself like doing the whole kind of like carefully do not show her teeth. By the way, like she
Okay.
covers her mouth and she like chuckles back. She finds herself kind of laughing back. It's like, pretty sure they think I'm an idiot. Holy shit! I'm talking to aliens. Allison, I'm talking to aliens.
Kansas is never going to hear the end of this.
I know. They make a bunch of other gestures as well that you're not able to translate.
We're
but
just
they
recording all of it so we can try and
but
figure it
they
out.
do seem to be cordial towards you. They're definitely not hostile, and they seem a lot less frightened of you than they did before. They don't.
I'm going to teach our gesture. I'm holding a tablet with one hand and wave slowly with the other.
And while Allison is doing that, Susie does the gesture of greeting.
There's a gesture that you don't quite understand, and then they mimic it with the wave back.
Okay.
What now?
And then
And then Susie points to Susie, and then points to Allison. Allison.
they make some, again, like coming from the throat type sounds.
Mm-hmm.
But then just tilt their head. Kind of like they don't really quite understand what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Give me another education check or a gut feeling check, either one.
Can I do a naturalist roll?
For what reason?
This is anthropology.
It's not quite the type of naturalist that naturalist skills for. That would be more education.
Damn it.
I'd say you could use empathy if you wanted to.
I did up my empathy score. Let me check what it was.
Depends on how you're trying to communicate. If you're trying to like emotionally connect with them, you could do empathy. If you're trying to like think back of other cultures and try to compare it to come up with something that's close, that would be education. Naturalist would be like knowing what would be edible to them.
I'm gonna go with gut feeling. That's my best. Actually, no, I'm gonna go with education because it is better than my gut feeling.
Okay.
Fuck. Oh, 41!
Nat 20. 41
Phew.
total. There's enough like cultural records from Earth and other planets where humanity has settled over the years that you can draw some comparisons to forms of human communication, like various types of sign language, and languages that use more sounds rather than like words.
Yeah, they use more of the glottal noises.
Mm-hmm. And so you're kind of able to figure out a working basis for the language.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not like you understand their language now.
Susie is like excitedly explaining all of this to Allison as she's recording things.
Nice. But I think with that you would know enough that they're confused because you made the same gesture pointing to yourself and then pointing to Allison, that same gesture, and then said two different words.
Okay. It's just like she points to that person, that one and that one, and says, Ryland. This points to Rock. And she's trying to show that the pointing thing is an indication of what it is that's being talked about.
Okay. Give me a speech roll. Because that can also be just communication, doesn't necessarily have to be spoken.
Huh.
See how well you can communicate this.
12!
There's more laughing. And tilting heads. Because I've decided that head tilts are just universally across the universe associated with what?
Yeah, and she's just like, okay. Okay. Like, she's just like taking pause and is like, okay, how do I work this? How do I do this?
We can
After-
try next time, Susie, because
Yeah.
I think they also need time to think this over. We can analyze, they can analyze.
Actually, oddly enough, Allison, while you're communicating that with Susie, they make another gesture and then do the wave, like, awkwardly, and then slowly close the door.
Also,
Like-
it's nighttime. They are not nocturnal, probably.
I think they might be nocturnal because that's like the only time we've ever heard them. But you know
Oh.
what?
Well,
I figured out what the basis of the language is.
Well,
with
I'm
that, I
happy
think
for you, but
Susie-
we need to show this to philosopher.
Also, Susie, I think with that information, you would know the sounds that you heard were from the monkey, and the monkeys are nocturnal, not necessarily the Rylands. So do you go back then?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
teleport back.
Okay. Awesome. Well, you teleport back. You've got information from the recording.
Also, Susie is now practicing doing those throat noises. So you're like having to listen to her just do like pops and clicks in her throat.
Every so often, the philosopher just looks over you and goes, "Don't make that noise. That is very rude."
She's like, what does it mean though?
I can't say in polite company.
I'm not polite company. Tell me what it means. Oh god,
No.
this philosopher has to deal with a 15-year-old human now.
Yeah, they'll probably like whisper to you or whatever the equivalent of robot whispering is, and yeah, it's something like super vulgar.
Susie's like, wow,
Oh, God,
I
don't
gotta
teach the
learn
50-year-old
way more about your
swears.
swear words.
Don't, no.
That's
Yeah.
rude.
Anyways, just looking at the time here, we're gonna speed this up a little bit. So the philosopher looks at the recording, is able to translate it for you for the most part. It's oh my god. They definitely have a hard time translating a lot of it, and they kind of mention that their language used to have a lot more vocal sounds to it, not necessarily words as you would understand them, but there was a much larger audible element to the language, so over time it must have evolved to more gestures and sign language.
Which actually makes sense if they've been trying to hide all this time.
The philosopher nods and says, it would seem that the culture has shifted to much more of hunting and gathering, which makes sense with the natural progression of the religion that we followed. And if they've been taught to stay quiet to avoid detection, that would make sense. So yeah, they're able to translate more of it for you, and they kind of tell you that it's like 75% sure that this is what it means. But
Susie's writing down everything, as well as like the change in gesture between what she was taught with for the greeting and what was given as a greeting gesture, and like noticing if there's any other changes like that. That she can like use as like a quick, easy Rosetta Stone base.
Yeah. I'd say between the two of you, you're able to get things figured out pretty well. Is anybody else doing anything during that time before we wrap up?
I'm just gonna double check how much we have. How much titanium do beds require?
We still haven't made those fucking beds.
Because Tamsin's sick of sleeping on the ground, and she already is in. Like, we're already clearly not in the highest of esteems from the philosopher. I don't want them to look at us sleeping on the ground like we're, absolute cave dwelling mad people.
They probably
3.
love that shit. They'll think less of us for beds.
3 titanium per bed.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I guess we're going out for more titanium tomorrow, kids. But I think Tamsin will make up 2, at least, and we can double bunk for a night.
Alright.
If Tamsin says that, because I don't know that we got a clear answer on if it worked earlier, I'm gonna think really hard about titanium and see if I could ping it.
You get a vague sense that there is no titanium on the island. Oh, I'm sorry.
Some kind of result.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there is some on the island. I missed a line there, but not much of it. The stuff doesn't tell you like it's right here. You just sort of like know that it's a thing that you can get here.
Because Susie suggested this earlier, if I like walk to the other side of the room, am I getting like a change in the frequency of the beeping? Like,
No.
Can we create a hot and cold system for this?
It's not like a metal detector. It just.
Okay.
I imagine it's like
yeah,
looking
I'm
up a
pretty sure we can find
directory
this
on a
here.
town, and it's like, oh, it's got a gas station and a church.
Yeah, it's almost like if you were to pull up a spreadsheet that said region island, and then you read off the things that are on that table.
You don't say.
Oh, so yeah, I think that's probably a good spot to wrap up. Then we'll handle food next week for the night, because I'm pretty sure you have enough in your stores to cover it. But we'll just handle that.
You don't know
off-camera
how much the
next week.
philosopher needs. The philosopher needs like 70 units, right? Just throws our whole thing out of whack.
Of blood. He drinks blood, right? That's what we established.
Yep.
Oh my god. Sorry, I was hearing a noise. I thought it was one of the cats.
That's fine.
You know, they that's not how they work anymore. I guess I miss my tongue. Anyways,
Are they just
before
gonna
we,
stare at us longingly while we eat?
probably.
I know that feel.
Yeah, and basically you've adopted a sad robot that has
Yay.
thousands of years of knowledge.
Well, So glad to have Marvin with us. It's been so long since we had a lovable non-human mascot.
Also, I'm imagining Quackers just like turning the philosopher into a nest.
That might happen, yeah. That's another one I need to see is Hitchhiker's Guide. I've never actually watched that or read the book, surprisingly.
Very good. I would. But then, I've got thoughts for off camera. It's a complicated issue.
Okay. Well, with that, I think we'll wrap it up there. We'll pick it back up the next morning, and next week we'll handle the food stuff off camera. So we'll go on a raid here in just a minute. But before we do, I'm gonna let everybody say what their favorite part was, where we can find them, anything they'd like to share or hype or plug. Excuse me. Going reverse order, we'll start with Jay. Favorite part, where can folks find you? Anything else you want to share?
I think my favorite part was probably the two instances of Owen and Susie having just like the constant back and forth between those two. This whole episode, while it didn't feel like hateful, it was still really funny to show. It just really capitalizes on the whole lack of communication that our group could do, or at least lack of good communication. And it was good to see that kind of slow growth going on there, as well as Susie getting to learn the language and being super excited about it. Like, Tamsin's going to be less excited about it by comparison, but if only because she's not 15 and she's been studying planets for most of her life, and stars. This was fantastic. It was good to know all this new stuff about it, and to know that Wilfred's still out there and have really concrete evidence that he's still active and doing some horrible stuff. Makes me feel less bad about wanting to kill him, so that's always good. Where you can find me next is on Saturday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. I just almost forgot the day of the week that it is right now, for Animus Absentis with Alex, and we might do another thing that goes off without a hitch. Unlikely. You can also find me on Twitter and h.io at AlienJs. I'm currently working on another game as well as another tabletop system, and keep an eye out on the Twitter sometime early April for new playtest stuff about that.
Yay! Next, we've got Econorlax. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything else you'd like to share?
My favorite part was the mishap with nanobots, but not just because natural ones are funny. I think this game proves a little how you can use them as opportunity to create new plot lines, because I bet you didn't plan for TC to get infected, Raven.
Oh, not at all.
And this provides us with a completely new path to follow. If we can consider getting infected on purpose, if we can consider cleaning Owen from the infection, and so on. I really, really chapeau to you, Raven, for your ability to make something out of nothing.
Thanks. It comes from a long time of having a plan, having it make contact with players, and then realizing I can't plan for anything in advance.
And as for the other two questions, yeah, Animus Absentis is a mode, definitely. You can find me next probably on my own channel tomorrow, somewhere around morning American hours, but I'm not exactly sure which time zone, because I'm not exactly sure what time precisely. Yeah, morning is a safe description.
All right. Next we'll hop over to Pat. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything else you'd like to share?
I mean, my favorite part has to be finding out what the deal with the bridge was. And then our immediate reactions, essentially being Owen trying to figure out how to turn it into like a drug we could take with us, and Susie trying to figure out how to immediately weaponize it.
Yeah.
And the philosopher's sitting there just looking at us like, you're very violent.
Yeah, Owen's got feelings about the philosopher, but he did not have any strong opinions about saving them one way or another. I mean, besides that, on a more character growthy level, and despite Owen giving her shit for it, I really enjoyed Allison like utilizing the teleporter more this episode. Like, not afraid to like literally get their feet wet by like accidentally getting into the water type thing, and then jumping back and forth. It was good. Yeah, I'm Pat. I'm a Tactric on Twitch and Twitter. Thing I want to hype is not this Sunday, but a week from Sunday, we are going to be launching a new Urban Shadows 2nd Edition campaign on my channel for April and May. Zan will be playing in it. Several other great people will be playing in it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real. It's gonna be chaotic. We are setting it in like Florida spring break city. So disaster city, disaster GM, awesome players. It'll be fun.
Awesome. Why did that not work?
No, it wasn't working last time I tried it either. Not a big deal.
Huh. All right. And then also, once again, go check out at Leopold the Just on Twitter. Leland is fantastic. He GMs our Friday night games. Normally plays Lyle, and hopefully we'll have him back next week. And then next we've got Zan. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah. So favorite part. I love that we can still find ways to basically annoy the piss out of each other while we're still trying to do the right thing. Like, we can be in the moral high ground, and we're still going to be dicks about it. So I just really appreciate like how consistent our group is. Like, all right, cool, we're going to save this robot, but also just the fun dynamics that could happen at the same time. Like, while we're trying to do this good purpose, we're still just giving each other shit the whole time, despite all of TC's best efforts to get everyone to communicate more. And I'm so proud that I got my asterisk tonight. I been waiting for the trust asterisk. So I'm real hyped about that. And I'm Zan, a professional DM and content creator for 5e World of Darkness, powered by the Apocalypse, and a whole bunch of other fun little games. You can find me in the obscene hours of the morning on Tuesdays and Fridays over our Polished Cryptids channel. And yeah, Pat already mentioned the game, but I'm gonna tease just a little because Pat didn't reveal too much. So I will just saying that I will be the only vampire that's focused on healing that you've ever seen. So that's my little gag there, and I'll be probably starting next week or the week after. I will be starting to stream on my own channel. So I have no idea what that is going to hold yet, but it's going to have some fantastic stuff. My Twitch is the same as my Twitter, Insanity TTRPG. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's me.
Fantastic. Last but not least, Alex, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you'd like to share?
Yo, I'm Alex. I'm a digital artist. You can find me around on Twitter or Twitch at CanChaosArt for my art and stuff. I do commissions. Just give me a talk and we can figure something out. I've actually been doing a lot of character design work with a project called Cerebus Leash that'll be coming out eventually. It's going to be a webcomic and radio play style podcast.
That's cool.
It's all sci-fi. It's really cool. Like, it's full non-human cast, like proper, like we're going there sci-fi. And then you can find me here on Saturdays for Animus Septentis. Eventually, you will find me back on Pat's channel when we get some Lancer recordings done. Yeah, that's about it. Favorite part tonight? The thing is, Susie gives Owen a hard-ass time, but, like, the first time Owen's gonna be in trouble, Susie's gonna be, like, the first one, like, shooting whatever the fuck is attacking him. Like, it's... Owen's the only person she can get away with cussing out. And she needs that right now.
Yeah.
She needs somebody that she can safely just, like, go off on.
It's
so
important to know who's at the bottom of the pecking order.
Thank you for the support, Owen. It's appreciated. Also, fucking Susan, I did not expect her to get this excited about learning an alien language. Like, it just like started and just like, I am in love. Like, she's just like, this is what I want to do with my life. I just want to study and communicate with aliens. I just want to learn about aliens now. Congratulations, you took her from marine biology as a focus to xenobiology.
I mean, it's not that far of a jump.
Yeah.
Actually,
and to be fair,
anthropology specifically is what she's interested in now.
To be fair, until we discovered this planet, I think no sapient species was discovered. It was like surprised for us. So there was no xenoanthropology.
Well, there's theoretical like
Mhm.
xenobiology and xenoanthropology, but there wouldn't be any practical.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm babbling. Yeah.
You're totally fine.
Yeah.
All right, that just leaves me. So my favorite part is the whole bridge thing. I'm like, hey, here's this funny little side effect of their power lines. And it's kind of a neat thing, and then everybody's like, how can we weaponize it?
I just want to put on the
was-
record, Tamsin was not for that.
But I did find that quite amusing. And then also it took a bit to remember that the teleporters exist. The whole, like, we could bring up a pulley system and we could, drag the robot out of here, and then the sudden light bulb, like, wait a minute, we have teleporters. That was great. But the whole thing was fantastic. I loved all the quotable parts. I also loved the fact that you saved the philosopher, because I kind of had planned for him to just die.
Well, he's really making us regret the decision at the moment. He's kind of a douche.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a wet blanket. But yeah, I wasn't sure if you're gonna save them or not, and then you did, and that was really cool, and I enjoyed the whole thing. Where you can find me next will be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, playing Niklaus Sebastian Adama, the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type villain for Exodus. And he is a villain, not the villain, so he's a player character villain, which is a lot of fun. So you can check me out there, and then other things to share or plug is just sponsors, which is Fundamental RPG, which, this game runs on. And Intrepid, which is adventuring gear for real life. You can find both of those at coffee.com/raven/shop, or Fundamental on Amazon for the physical copy as well. Just search for Fundamental RPG or Raven Evermore, and it should pop right up. That's everything for me, so we're going to go on a raid. We've got a raid cry, which is, yes, I miss my tongue. We're going to go raid Nerdsmith, so definitely give them a follow if you are not doing so already. They're super cool. Really cool group of people that run that over there. And then I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.